Hello everyone, my name is Nika, I'm a model. Today I want to talk about why I don't like being referred to as a doll. It doesn't happen very often, but I still dislike it. However, I absolutely love it when you give you real like to my videos. Once I mentioned that famous models and average models are not the same things. Yes, regular models whose names you don't know have equally stunning photographs. They walk the runway and appear in the advertisement just like the popular ones, but there is a significant difference and it's quite substantial. Most of the instantly recognizable models didn't go through the real journey of becoming a model. They gained fame thanks to their popular blogs, connection, influential parents, boyfriends, and so on. Just Google any famous model that comes to mind, and you will understand what I mean. Top models and regular models can have a difference of 2 or even 3 zero in their fees for the same show. You can imagine that? Of course, the stars don't suffer through diet, tedious catalog shoots or forced alterations to their appearance unless they want to. They are not overly concerned about cellulite, extra volume or other things that are forbidden for other representatives in the fashion industry. These are all the struggles faced by the models you don't know about. Let's start with the fact that when young girls and boys enter the modeling work, then don't always realize what lies ahead. Yes, undoubtedly, you will have plenty to show off on the social media, as you will have countless materials. There will be millions of photos and videos and different looks, poses with various people in different locations. People you know will constantly recognize you in the television commercials. Additionally, you will have the opportunity to travel the world if you choose to work abroad. For your classmates, this will be another reason to envy you. And of course, modeling work isn't as challenging as being a minor, but it's not as easy as it might seem to some. Modeling job always begins with the castings. In other words, they evaluate a live person as if they were a mannequin. It's true, nobody cares about inner content of a doll. For the initial selection, only your appearance and measurements matter, nothing more. It means you no longer identify yourself as a person with feelings, spirituality, or psyche. You entirely belong to your agent or client. They tell you what to do, what to wear, whether you can take a bathroom break during the shoot, or if we have many more looks to capture and we are running out of time. Model synonymous with the word mannequin. A mannequin girl. I hate this word. It even sounds derogatory, doesn't it? A model isn't meant for herself. She constantly seeks permission, like a child asking an adult for approval. And it doesn't matter how old is she, even if she's older than those who hire her, they treat her like a robot, obediently following commands. If an ordinary person not related to the fashion industry enters the dressing room before the show, they will get the impression that models are not respected at all. I think it's because there are 20-30 models in a show and this crowd needs to be managed somehow. There is no time or opportunity to fuss over each one. As soon as the show director turns away, the models scattered in different directions like kids at school. That's why we constantly hear commanding tones directed at us. Are you dressed? Where is your makeup artist? Start in front of her. Put on your shoes. Quick to the backstage. Repeat what I said. My mom worked as a preschool teacher and perhaps she would have been good at being a show director for runaway shows. In the early days of my career, when I occasionally worked as a hostess at exhibitions or events, a model couldn't even sit down for a whole day. Nowadays, people have become more loyal and tolerant, or they just pretended to be. I'm sure of that. 10 years ago, if a model was invited to a booth at an exhibition, clients assumed that she would be standing continuously or even walking in heels for 8-9 hours, and when her legs couldn't bear the weight anymore, they allowed her to sit on the chair for 10 minutes. Can you imagine that? Let me guess, you haven't stood in heels for more than 2-3 hours. Either you were sitting down or after 5 glasses of champagne, there were no shoes left on your feet. Try standing continuously for at least 3 hours. You would find it torturous. I stood on nails for 20 minutes and walked in heels for up to 8 hours. And I can't even say which one was more painful. So let's talk about the conditions on the set. I assure you that the comfort of the model is the last thing organizers think about when planning a photo shoot. Sometimes they might tell her she's shooting in a light dress in November just 15 minutes before the shoot. If you live in the tropics, let me decode that for you. November is usually freezing cold, windy and rainy. I wish I could insert a video here of when I did an ad shoot for ATVs in January at -10 degrees Celsius wearing a swimsuit, but I couldn't find it. Take my word for it. I was lucky with the client that day, and they had a car nearby to warm me up and offer some brandy every 2 minutes. By the way, it's a common practice if the shoot takes place outdoor in freezing weather. Okay, I'm exaggerating a bit. Such shoots don't happen very often. Most of the time it's just shooting in a huge cold space where the keenest person from the team directs a small heater toward the model to warm her up a little. I think now you won't be too surprised if I tell you that cystids and colds are constant companions of models. You are constantly touched, all the time, everywhere, and there is no escape from it. They fix your hair, clothes and makeup every 10 seconds. Hairstylist, without any hints of guilt, can aggressively comb through your voluminous hairstyle, just like little girls do to their Barbie dolls. Often, models like real Barbies remain silent and endure it. It's the choice we made. I must say that I've inhaled so much hairspray in my life that I might even start producing it myself. In this regard, hair stylists are extremely generous. You are constantly pitched with clips, scratched with squeams and pricked with needles. Hands are shoved under your dress to adjust your tights or even fasten your bodysuit. But to their credit, sometimes they apologize for it. Doctors are often referred to as genderless beings, but truly genderless people are models. If you peek behind the stands of the runway, you can see boys and girls stripped down to their underwear, rouged like maniacs in the dressing room to change before their next appearance. I assure you, the atmosphere there is so heated. The models don't even have a time to notice each other, let alone get aroused. The same things happen on photo shoots. Stylists set up small screens for decency's sake, but the model forget about them within an hour of photo shoot and change clothes openly in the studio, as if this most natural thing. And no one noticed it, even if there are 15 people on the team beside the models. Sometimes we play love and family in the photos, portraying a real passion and affection. But after the shoot, we shake hands and walk in the direction of our families, almost immediately forgetting about it. Here too, you can draw an analogy with playing with dolls. The client, like a little girl, plays with us with a living Barbie and Ken. By the way, in real life, there are very few couples where both parents are models. I will explain why in this next video. Subscribe to my channel so don't meet them. Catalog. It's the scariest word for any model. It's almost like a coarse word to us. In short, it's 8-9 hours of posing in one spot in full length before the camera, with brief pauses to powder the forehead and adjust clothing. Thank God that at least now we are not always in heels. In the past, it didn't matter what you were shooting: dresses, lingeries, fur coats, puffer jackets, or sports suit. The model was always in heels. On Saturday, a model is left only with desire to eat or die. In addition to the physically demanding work, there are also difficulties in dealing with the brand representatives. Sometimes they reveal so much in their power our beautiful young girls that they try to humiliate them to the maximum. Usually, I notice this behavior from women who lack beauty, style, or intelligence. Once, during a photo shoot, they advised me to always use name Veronica instead of Nika, which I preferred, simply because they didn't like my name. Along with this strange, unrelated to work pieces of advice, there were comments like, "You have a hungry look in your photos," and "flat buff." I finished that shift and never worked with them again. I was young, in need of money, so I just laughed it off and worked until the end of the day. Now I would simply turn around and leave adding something, "For the money you are paying me, I'll go by whatever name I want, even Princess Diana." But some reasons nobody messes with those models who can walk away immediately and tell anyone to go to hell. And how much the clients get outraged when a model starts expressing her dissatisfaction or principles, as if they literally bought the rights to her bare nipples under their transparent clothing. This happens very often at fashion shows. It immediately devalues the mannequin. And also, for example, there are times when a model comes to shoot for a dress lookbook and the clients suddenly bring out lingerie from somewhere towards the end of the shoot and won't photograph the two without increasing the fee. Often they use phrases like, "Honey, who hasn't seen your bare breasts?" or "You are not shooting in lingerie? Why did you become a model then? If we knew, we wouldn't have invited you." Let me explain this to everyone for the future. Yes, shooting in lingerie always implies a higher fee. No, the model shouldn't undress during the shoot if it wasn't discussed beforehand. Yes, there are models who don't shoot in lingerie and don't show their nipples, but I, in case you were wondering, do. But it's for a significant amount of money. In the world where is an unwritten law that the less they pay you, the more they demand from you. That's probably why I got so many bumps during my teenage years when I was willing to work for laughable money. As I grew older and started refusing shoots for a small fee, those who were ready to appreciate my work properly came along. When I began to respect myself, my time, and my principles, the level of my clients genuinely improved. Now, hardly anyone can afford to say anything negative about me at work. After all, if I turn around and walk out in the middle of the shoot, they will lose a bunch of money they invested in this project. Studio rent, photographers, stylists and assistants, makeup artist, decorator, etc. When a model is invited for a well-paid shoot, they are unlikely to treat her with contempt, make strange remarks, or disregard her control. Higher price tag means more respect. If you don't want to be treated like a toy, it doesn't matter whatever you work as a model or in any other profession. Respect yourself, value your work, and others will adjust. Don't forget to like my video, leave cool comments and of course subscribe.